A young woman holds her arms and legs in 4 water baths with an electric current to improve blood circulation back in 1938. The Girl with the Steel Legs, British Commonwealth and Olympic hurdle athlete Wendy Gill from Essex 1960, is training hard for the Seoul, South Korea Games of 1988. Luna Park, Melbourne in the early 1950s. Miss New Zealand fainted at the Miss Universe pageant in Long Beach, 1954. Third Avenue Elevated Railway Station in the 70s at 8:30 in the morning, New York, in the 1940s. Chinese women strip tree bark to add to food. This happened in Henan Province in 1942. Magdalene asylums, also known as Magdalene laundries, were places of reform for women who didn't fit the idea of a good, upstanding citizen. A Finnish major is talking to a blind Finnish volunteer who has just returned. This happened in Hanko, Finland on June 1st, 1943. Russian Prime Minister Viktor Chernomyrdin with his double from the satirical show Puppets, 1995. The dam structure, as seen from a skip, is on a 150-ton cableway. This is Hoover Dam in Boulder City, Nevada. It was the United States in 1933. Edinburgh University Students' Union at Teviot Row House, Scotland, 1961. The aim of the union is to promote the education of Edinburgh students by representing and supporting them, and by promoting their interests and their welfare in the community. Palestinians stand in front of their British drill instructor in 1940. Up to 12,000 Palestinians volunteered in combat and non-combat roles during World War II to fight Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. The boys saying that in 1943, the Germans are located in this specific place. It's November of 1942. We're in Salt Lake City, Utah. They're training women to drive buses and taxi cabs. The first lesson is about how to position a pencil over your ear. Then, tip your cap at a jaunty angle and crack some gum. Los Angeles police detectives are plotting a bullet's trajectory at the scene of a shootout in 1934. An American soldier guards the entrance to Shangri-La, which is now called Camp David. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was staying there. The public wasn't told that his health was failing at the time. He died the following year. Workers are loading a uranium slug into the X-10 graphite reactor's concrete face in Tennessee around 1943. Amidst the war, a young woman sits in a tattoo parlor. Artist Jack Julian is applying her social security number to one leg and her address to the other. It's a precaution against bombing, to identify her, a harsh reminder of dark times. 1942. Here's a self-propelled carriage from 1901. This is a German World War II exhibition called The German Achievements in the Vistula Area. The name Poland was banned. It shows photos of German battle victories and Polish war crimes. The date is September 1st, 1940. Kids protesting daylight saving time. New York, 1939. They seem like cool kids. It's an experimental floating tank, made for transporting wounded people across small water obstacles. This was in 1916. The right day to hang laundry in New York, 1900. Students from Ardingly School are traveling home for the Christmas holidays on the school bus in 1926. There was a Nazi rally attended by 20,000 Americans. It was held at Madison Square Garden in 1939. Germans were in a British internment camp during World War I on the Isle of Man in the 1910s. The line is for the premiere of the Star Wars film. This happened in Vancouver in 1977. Lunch, around the 1950s. A nuclear-powered bullet train from the 1970s series Super Train. Emma Lillian Todd was the first woman to design an airplane. A woman is using an electric inhaling apparatus. It makes a medicated fog, and it's used to treat colds and influenza. This was in 1929. Arnold Schwarzenegger during the filming of Predator in 1986. Mother and Children, Spain, 1920s. Photo by Antonia Rissa. (1982) Montgomery Ward catalog. Sony Walkman cassette player new, Sony AM/FM Walkman radio, and Sony Walkman speakers. There's a makeshift bedroom in a Pontiac. This is in San Francisco in 1936. French soldiers are passing by a dog. The dog's wearing goggles and smoking a pipe. This was in 1915. It's a wood chopping, or aizkolaritza, contest in Deba, in the Basque Country, Spain. This was in 1949. Two women are showing their uncovered legs in a public place. This happened in Toronto in 1937. A family's going on a summer holiday in a Fiat 500 in Italy, 1967. Mistinguett at the Folies Bergère, Paris, 1900. Bobby Driscoll, 1949. He was the voice of Disney's Peter Pan. At the age of 31, Driscoll died in an abandoned building following a long struggle with drug addiction. I could stay in Atlantic City forever. It was a Kodak moment around 1912 at the New Jersey resort. Jeanette Rankin speaks at the headquarters of the National American Women's Suffrage Association in Montana in 1917. Gene Crane sharpens an axe while eyeing a turkey. It's a Thanksgiving classic. The year was 1946. Around 1933, a big pig on a farm in Hertfordshire, England, is having a conversation with a census taker. It's yawning slumber party girls around 1910. The man is a Northumbrian miner at his evening meal in 1937. Homecoming. Lieutenant Colonel Robert Moore is greeted by his wife, Dorothy D. Moore, and daughter Nancy in Villisca, Iowa, on July 15, 1943. The earliest known photo of Abraham Lincoln, taken in 1840. Corporal William Wendy is brushing G.I. Jenny, the burro mascot of an army unit in North Africa. There's also a terrier, and his name is Pito. This happened in 1943. In March of 1940, a cowhand is trying a saddle at a saddlery in Elko, Nevada. Tadeusz Komorowski, the leader of the Polish Home Army, is shaking hands with Erich von dem Bach-Zelewski, the commander of the German forces in Warsaw, after signing the surrender treaty of the failed Warsaw Uprising of 1944. There's a Wiener ambulance, and it has patients in layers, all in a horse-drawn wooden carriage. The sides are partly open, but there are curtains. The ambulance men are members of the Viennese Voluntary Rescue Society, which started in 1881. Always money in the banana stand. Banana Bert and Lil are at Buzzards Bay Dairy Queen in 1950. Marilyn Monroe visited the crew of the destroyer, USS Benham, DD-796 in 1951. Arnold Schwarzenegger, a 16-year-old, is at his first bodybuilding competition. Two ladies are riding an 1895 crank drive and a 500 new Imperial twin. This happened on November 29, 1935. The Royal Navy's on the way home from France. Queen Victoria's on board, and she's just visited Napoleon III in 1858. The Anti-Fascist Congress of the United Front in Berlin took place on July 10, 1932. 1,465 delegates from all over Germany attended. Dublin, 1896. Women at the beach are tossing their colleague in the air with a blanket in 1932. We're looking at a chain gang of young African-American convicts. This was in the southern United States around 1903. The Flying Merkle motorcycle, a symbol of early 20th century American engineering, stands proudly in Milwaukee, 1910. Hairdresser's Hot Dog, California, 1962. Physicists at the 7th Solvay Physics Conference in Brussels, Belgium, in October 1933. Outside the Cathedral of St. Matthew the Apostle in Washington, D.C., John F. Kennedy Jr. salutes his father's coffin, 1963. The Sponge Merchant, New York, 1923. Bill Gates, after someone threw a cake at him in Brussels on February 4, 1998. Dwight D. Eisenhower, Winston Churchill, and General Omar Bradley are firing carbines during a tour of an army camp in England in 1944. Three Boys Trudging, circa 1910. Once a week, he traveled between Chicago and Los Angeles. This is one of the first examples of super chefs, dating back to the 1930s. The man in the middle is a college-aged Richard Nixon. This was at Whittier College in 1974. The teenage daughter of an impoverished Arkansas farmer is cooking on an old stove. Her mother is in a tuberculosis sanitarium. This all happened during the Great Depression. This is a Red Cross photo from around 1930. A German Shepherd police dog is pushing a baby in a stroller in Hempstead, New York in 1920. A stuntman is at work on set in 1930. Blood and Soil. Argentina-born German Nazi ideologist Richard Walter Darré is addressing an agricultural meeting in Lower Saxony. He was an advocate of Lebensraum into Eastern Europe. It was 1937. The Kulak family was evicted from their home during the Holodomor famine in Ukraine in 1932. It's October of 1941. We're at Grand Central Terminal in New York City. They were buried together over 2,800 years ago. If you talk too much, this man may die. Fort Hood, January 1943. This is a portrait of Karl Marx. He lived from 1818 to 1883. Van Besten was painting in his garden in 1912. The bricklayer is posing in 1928. Communist Party USA meeting in Chicago, 1939. A family tries to escape flooding in Columbus, Ohio, 1913. There's a hut on a raft on the Volga River, sometime in the 1900s. In 1931, there was an anti-Nazi protest in Berlin. An aircraft spotters on the roof of a building in London. St. Paul's Cathedral is in the background during World War II. The very first vaccine in human history was invented in 1796 by Edward Jenner. He used the milder cowpox virus to protect people from deadly smallpox. Dave Grohl and Krist Novoselic from Nirvana were at Kurt Cobain's funeral. That was in Seattle, Washington, in 1994. A little girl is leaning down, watching a boy working under a toy car. There's a dog behind the wheel. This happened during the 1920s. The milkman's reward for good measure. Star Wars cast out of their costumes. There's Harrison Ford, who played Han Solo. Also, David Prowse, who was Darth Vader. Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca. Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia. And Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. And finally, Kenny Baker, who was R2-D2. This was in 1977. 19. Dee Brown is kissing her fiancé Terry under the mistletoe. This happened aboard the HMS Wakeful at Portsmouth in 1955. A demonstration of one of the early prototypes of a videophone at a radio exhibition in Stuttgart, West Germany, 1965. Bonnie and Clyde's last kiss happened a few hours before they were killed on May 23, 1934. Lumberjacks shaving with an axe in the 1930s. So it's 1935. There's Ataturk on a swing. It's a courtyard in the Levadia Palace. This was February 11th, 1945. It's a portrait of Charles Dickens taken sometime between 1867 and 1868. This is a family in 1910. A champagne inspector is wearing a champagne inspecting mask in case of any champagne-related explosions in 1933. February 28, 1931, at Cowdray Park in Midhurst, Sussex, someone's handing around a stirrup cup at a hunt meet. It was during the coming-of-age celebrations for Lord Cowdray's heir.